some unsolicited advice to strangers on the internet. That sounds like fun. Am I the a-hole for having feelings for my late brother's wife? I, 32 male, am in love with my late brother's wife. My brother got married to this beautiful lady in 2019. They had 2 kids before he passed on. He died from a car accident on August 15th, 2024. That devastates me. Your brother. Like, my heart immediately just broke. Throughout their marriage, I was in Austria and came back last year when I lost my brother. After the burial, my family gave her 2 choices. Since she is still young, she can decide to go back to her parents and remarry when she is ready. Secondly, she can stay in husband's house, and whenever she finds a man, she can get married and move on with her life. She is just 28 years old. So she chose to stay and mourn her husband. I normally paid her and the kids visits regularly. Just go check on her and the kids, buy them some stuff her husband could have bought them if he was still alive. I tried to make her happy and not to really feel the gap in her husband's absence. I won't lie, I was doing all of these as a caring brother-in-law with no intentions. I knew my brother would take care of my kids and wife if I was the one who passed away. Last month, I promised to take my late brother's wife and the kids for an outing. We went out and had fun, then I dropped them home. Upon leaving, the daughter, who was just 2 years old, started crying for me not to leave. I stayed back and played a bit until she fell asleep. As days passed, I realized that I'm having feelings for my late brother's wife. I tried to fight the feelings by not going there often, but she would call me whenever the kids asked for me or if they wanted something. Even as I stayed away, I couldn't get her off my head. This was just the 8 months after my brother's death. I have been struggling to kill that feeling, but it isn't easy. One afternoon, she called me and asked if I was avoiding her and the kids or if there was anything that she did wrong. I felt guilty, but I couldn't open up to her that I have fallen in love with her already. Mind you, I'm not married and I don't have kids yet. I truly would want to marry her and take care of her and my brother's children. Oh, what a strange situation. I don't know if my parents will feel bad about it or if they would be happy. And if my brother's wife will feel the same way that I feel for her. Note, I will be going back to Austria soon and I feel it will hurt me so much if I don't open up to her. Do you think I should tell her or my parents about my feelings towards her? Oh my God, I cannot give advice on this. Are you crazy? Am I crazy for doing this video? I don't want to give advice on that. That's very serious and sad and so many feelings. I think my advice in this moment would be to not say anything and to go back to Austria and just let everyone grieve and process what's happening here. I don't want to give advice. I hate this game. Maybe I don't like this game as much as I thought I did. Not that you're ever gonna like watch my video and be like, I'm taking her advice. That's what I'm gonna do. Wife asked for an open relationship with her ex. I reluctantly said yes. Then she kissed her. Isn't that the point? Yeah. My wife, 33 female, and I, 30 female, have been together for 6 years and married for 3. The past 18 months have been hard. Conflict over my enmeshed family, less sex, constant arguing from miscommunication, and we dropped out of couples counseling because of my school and workload. I returned to college to start a new career, fully encouraged by my wife. She told me she was getting lonely and asked for an open relationship. I was hesitant, but agreed. A couple weeks later, she changed her mind. Dating apps weren't for her. She then got on Bumble BFF and made 4 new friends. Then she asked me if she could message her ex from 10 years ago to make amends. Random. I was surprised because she had already done that 6 years ago and was rejected. But she insisted, so I said okay. Her ex responded kindly this time and they started emailing daily. My wife said she felt a friendship was possible even though we had a rule. Exes remain acquaintances. I was cautious since my wife's previous exes have crossed boundaries before and it has made me feel invisible and disrespected. But I said okay again on the condition that she maintains healthy boundaries. I'm already like, my heart is already like, ooh, I'm seeing red flags. Like if you're searching for so much more outside of your own relationship, why don't we just work on our relationship and getting it to a point where is giving you what you're looking for. Does that make sense? Like, why are we looking elsewhere? Like, let's just like look within us and this marriage and work on it. 1 week later, she says their conversations are deep and emotional and things are progressing really fast. By talking to her ex, she realized how she's repeated old patterns of harm, including intimate partner violence, from her past relationship into our marriage. I let her talk without prying, even though I was uncomfortable. She then tells me she's feeling emotionally connected to her ex, but says it's still just a friendship. I trusted her and reassured myself that emotional closeness doesn't have to be romantic. Then she starts meeting up with her ex every weekend. I mention how fast it's escalating. She says it feels natural and not rushed to her. Another week later, she says she feels in alignment with herself around this connection. I ask, "Are you catching feelings?" She says no. Then on a long car trip to visit my family, she drops this. She wants to explore her feelings for her ex and reopen our relationship with this person. I'm gutted, but she says it's not about the ex, it's about her not repressing her needs anymore. I cave. I say yes, even though I'm dying inside because I just want her to be happy. It couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. That's all I'll say on that. But I woke up the next day in rage. I feel betrayed. I trusted her. She said this would be a friendship. I felt like, in hindsight, she downplayed everything. I tell her I'm no longer okay with it. She says she communicated every step of the way and that I just wasn't paying attention. We go back and forth. Eventually, I say, fine, have your open relationship, but I'm telling you, I'm not okay. She thanks me and says that she will respect my boundaries. We agree to no sex, only level 1 physical contact like hugs or a hand graze, level 2 PDA, and level 3 kissing. However, at this point, my wife said the thought of kissing her ex repulsed her and was way too soon to think about that. Okay. Then the next day, she meets her ex. It's imperative for me to state how many days and weeks I spent crying over my wife's decision to pursue this open relationship, even though I continuously told her I wasn't okay. Like, come on, girl. You don't want a relationship like that. Come on. You're sad. You deserve happiness. I was sounding like a broken record at some point, always bringing it up, but always telling her, go ahead and do it, but I'm struggling and I'm not okay. So before she met up with her ex, I caved in and couldn't hold it together. I expressed again how much this is hurting me, and it pissed my wife off. She said, "Why would you tell me this right before I see my ex? Why did you give me your blessing if you never meant it? Make up your mind. I don't do this back and forth. You are being insensitive for choosing to bring this up right before I go see her." After meeting up with her ex, my wife comes home wearing a noticeably new necklace. I ask about it. She says her ex gave it to her because of my message where I said I wasn't okay anymore, and it made her think she would never see my wife again. She wore the necklace, quote, because it made her feel better. That crushed me. Update. In the 3 to 5 days since this happened and since this post, my wife told me that she is going to continue seeing her ex and let it develop into a romantic/sexual relationship. She said if I don't want her to do it while we're still married, then she will do it as soon as we divorce. Okay, this isn't an open relationship. This is, hey, I want to break up and I want to go be with my ex. She said the ideal situation is that I stay married to her while she pursues this romantic sexual relationship with her ex and then see if she still wants this marriage with me. But I cannot handle them being together while we are married. I love my wife so much that I'd be dumb enough to stay while she does this because I want us to be a couple at the end of the day, but I think I should respect myself and walk away. So unfortunately, divorce is on the horizon. I will do my best to make sure that I'm the one who serves her first. Also, I want to thank everyone for their support, comments, and advice. Can I let you in on some irony to finish this off? Of course. When my wife dated her ex all those years ago, Her ex was a married woman, and when her ex went through a divorce, she had rebound dates and girlfriends before her divorce was even finalized. Sound familiar? Now my wife is doing to me what her ex did to her. She can't even see it because at this point in life, her and her ex are just so compatible and inseparable, and my wife is tired of feeling like she can't get what she wants in our marriage. In her words, she's not choosing us. She owns up being selfish and choosing herself, even if it destroys our marriage. I mean, my advice would be to respect yourself and walk away. 100%. I mean, there's no marriage left there. What relationship is left between the two of you if she's experiencing love and intimacy with someone else? Like, what's even left there? Perfect time for hydration station. After I film this video, I need a snack before I film the next one. I was gonna eat with you guys on camera and I'm like, ain't nobody want to hear that. Ain't nobody want to hear that. Anyways, grab your beverage, drink some water. My ex-husband ghosted and divorced me without a word. Should I send him one final email after months of silence? I've got so many questions. So I dated my ex-husband for 4 years and we were married for only 5 months. The marriage ended in the most abrupt and painful way. He ghosted me and sent divorce papers without ever discussing anything. It was completely unexpected. He never even hinted that he wanted out. Problems started literally on day 1 of the marriage, mostly because of my ex-mother-in-law. She sabotaged the wedding day in all the ways she could and then blamed me that I ruined the reception. She is a textbook narcissist, lies constantly, twists facts, and always plays the victim. Sadly, she succeeded in turning my ex and his whole family against me. The day I went back to visit my parents in another city, my ex said he would pick me up on his return. Instead, the next day, his family called me and ended the marriage over the phone. He also told my father the same. I was blocked everywhere, and a few days later, the divorce papers came in the mail. What? Just like that, I never reached out again. I didn't scream, beg, or fight. I just went silent. It's been 5 months and I'm still processing everything. I loved this man with all my heart, and he betrayed me in the most humiliating way. What hurts more is that he ghosted me once before when we were engaged, but came back begging to marry me, and I gave him another chance. Now he's posting pictures and showing off like he's moved on. I've been holding in all my pain and rage. Lately, I've been wondering, should I send him one final email, not to get him back, but to tell him exactly how he destroyed my life, how his family slandered me, and remind him that God sees everything? I don't want to break my dignity, but I also feel like he walked away too easily while I have been left in pieces. Would it help bring me closure? Or should I keep the silence and let karma handle it? That's where I was going with my advice. It's hard to get closure on this situation when it's like, I don't even know why it closed. Like, how do you possibly get closure from that? So I think you have to think about, is it really gonna give you closure, even if you send it and all that? Or is it better to just move with silence and move forward with your life and that be your closure? I feel like everyone is different in what they need personally for closure. Let me know what you guys would do. 20+ year pen pal and have recently met in person. Do you guys remember in elementary school when we all had a pen pal from like a different school? That was wild. I never met my pen pal either. I've had a pen pal for over 20 years. Pen pal is the easiest way for us to explain what our friendship is. We met online when we were in our early teens on a platform that no longer exists in a world where online predators were not as much of a thought about as they are now. Over the years, we communicated through text, messaging on different social media platforms, FaceTime, etc. Whenever we got into a serious relationship, the other person would vanish or ghost, as they call it now, and eventually show up a couple years later when they were no longer in a relationship or the relationship was dwindling. Or when life was just getting so busy that the physical distant friendship became even more distant. For me, I continued to communicate and keep in contact even when I was in relationships. Sometimes I would also vanish or ghost, but I'd have a dream or something would show up that reminded me of him and I would reach out again. He truly was and is my best friend. However, I always felt like there was more. There was always this wondering what the other person was like in person, if we would ever meet, and if there was any type of spark there. Fast forward 20 plus years and we finally met. He's handsome, charming, attentive, and so kind. We got on so well, but he lives thousands of miles away. Now, I may be the asshole here. I've been married for nearly 10 years now, and this pen pal is currently single. The plot thickens. However, I am also recently separated from my husband to give me space on what I need. I think meeting him solidified me being so unhappy and hurt with my current situation, but has also confused me even more. One of the comments he made in our conversations was that when I got married, I made peace with my decision, even though it caught him off guard, and didn't think that we would continue to speak. But we have, which makes me feel less delusional that these feelings were mutual over the years. I've always felt that this pen pal was the right person, but never the right time, and I also feel like in this lifetime, it may never be the right time. I think he's content sleeping around with no serious commitments at the moment because he's gone through a lot of trauma and many failed relationships that have hurt him. I'm not very old, 33 female, and I know that there are many more years in my life, hopefully, to fully live happily. But I'm curious what outsiders may think or if anyone's ever had a similar situation in life. Any advice, comments, judgments, LOL? I just got a lot of questions. I don't even know what advice you're looking for. Like, do you continue with your separation and start a long distance maybe relationship with this man, like seeing where it goes? I don't even know what you're seeking advice on. I really don't, because I feel like you need to chat with this pen pal. Where's he at in life? What are his feelings? What does your relationship look like in the separation? Is there a chance of you getting back together? Are you looking to be divorced and moving on? There's too many questions. Should I break up with my girlfriend? Oh my God, please do not put that responsibility on us. Do people actually listen to strangers on the internet for their life decisions? Hi all, and I know this is a way over posted topic on this sub. My girlfriend, 21 female, and I, 23 male, have been together almost a year and a half. I graduated last December while she was still in school, graduating in a week. We have been long distance since I graduated from my job, but have visited each other a few times. Lately, things have been rough. We've been fighting a lot over things. She doesn't seem to take anything I say seriously. Whether I'm telling her how long it'll take me to drive somewhere, or I'm trying to communicate how I feel, everything is met with immediate doubt. Last night, we tried talking about a guy she works with, and when I tried expressing how it made me uncomfortable, she said, "You're being insecure." Like, that is a big turnoff. I get that confidence is attractive, but it seems like she's weaponizing sex to get me to shut up about my feelings so she doesn't have to hold herself accountable. Eventually, the argument reached a compromise, and I think she saw my side of it. Later that night, she went out with her friends. While out and drunk, she sent me a screenshot of something her sister sent her. It was an Instagram post with a message saying, "Your boyfriend liked this, you should fight him." She then tried to pick a fight with me, and I told her I'm not doing that when she's drunk to prevent her from saying something she would regret. I just don't know anymore. We have these fights and we eventually get somewhere that is productive where we can both work on something, but afterwards I still have certain levels of bitterness and resentment for the way she handled the argument. I'm supposed to visit her next week for her graduation and party. I don't want us to get into another fight over that weekend, and I also don't want to break up with her over that weekend, so now I have to choose if I want to stay with her or not. I'm thinking I'll stay if she owns up to her being immature last night, but I'm not sure if that's wise of me. I mean, being in my 30s now and reflecting on my early 20s relationships, they were very similar, a little immature, the fights and communication, silly. I think we should end it. Is that bad to say? I don't know. I'm just from such an outside perspective that it's like, we're in different cities. Let's just wish each other the best. Move on in life. If you're fighting all the time, guys, I have been in relationships where the fighting was freaking constant. It was miserable. Misery. And I refuse to ever be in that again, and I wouldn't be in that again. So, reflecting on that, I would say, just get out. Y'all are young. You're gonna be fine. Move on. I've been sleeping with my brother's best friend behind his back. Oh, that's juicy. And you put that on the internet? You're so kind. Thank you for your service. I, 20 female, have been sleeping with my brother's best friend, 23 male of 10 plus years. So let me start from the beginning. Let's call him Eric. I have known Eric since I was in elementary school. He has been my brother's best friend since middle school and would always bring him around, but I never talked to him due to being a shy girl until about my sophomore year of high school. There was one random night that resulted in me frequently hanging out with my brother and Eric. Eric is an attractive guy. I always found him cute, but again, he was my brother's best friend, so I never saw him in any type of way. I also felt that I was out of his league and he is older than me. Love the confidence on that. Anyways, we've all grown closer as a group, so we planned a vacation together to Puerto Rico. I said that so Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico. Did I say that strange? I did. It was a group of us, my brother, his girl, Eric, his friend, Eddie, myself, and my friend. Our Airbnb had 2 rooms and a living room with a small inflatable and a couch. On the first day, Eric and I were the only ones drinking. We drank from when we landed until I knocked out on the floor. When I woke up, everyone was ready to go to bed. My brother and his girl took one room, Eric took the other, Eddie took the couch, and my friend took the inflatable. When I woke up, Eric was offering his bed to me, asking if I wanted to sleep in the big bed in the second room since the inflatable was too small. I was still a little drunk and stumbled my way to his room. I didn't think much of his offer, but I also want to turn it down. When I laid on the bed, I was still wearing the clothes from that day and my bathing suit. When he walked in, he nudged me to fix myself since I was on the edge of the bed. But when he woke me up, I suddenly was not sleepy anymore, and he wasn't tired either, so we watched some TV. I just know where this is going, and this is like a rom-com. But mid-watching, I joked around to take some more shots. I don't know how y'all have the energy. Oh wait, you're young, right? Yeah, that explains it. Oh my God, to like revive yourself after being passed out drunk. Remember puke and rally? Was that a thing for you guys? I used to crush a good puke and rally. I could party, let me tell you. And to my surprise, he had gotten up to get the bottle, and there we were taking shots and watching Friends. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I was watching him lay on his shoulder until he pulled me, so my head was resting on his chest and he was caressing my arm. Again, I did not think much of this. In my mind, it was still not even a thought of us doing anything. Until at some point we were face to face with each other, close to kissing, telling each other that we can't, and it's 'cause we're just drunk. But then that soon turned into, we can't tell anyone. We ended up kissing and hooking up that night. After, we told each other that we could never tell anyone or speak on it again. We said when we woke up, everything would go back to normal, and so we went to sleep cuddling. Also, to keep things clear, things between us are strictly physical. The next morning, we didn't speak on it. Nothing was awkward. We were acting how we always do, which I appreciated, until we were all smoking on the patio that night, and it was just the 2 of us out there. I don't remember how the subject got brought up, but we started talking about the night before. To sum up the conversation, it was basically us saying that one more time couldn't hurt, and that what happened here stays here because we weren't going to bring whatever we were doing back home. And so that same night, we slept together and hooked up again. This happened every day during our vacation, and no, we didn't get caught. If you're wondering what my brother thought of Eric and I sleeping together, he never really said anything to me. Yeah, because you guys are like in the same room and people are seeing that you're sharing the bed and sharing the bedroom. Apparently, Eric had asked for permission on the first night. Not permission to do anything with me, obviously, but permission as in if it's fine if I sleep in the bed with him because there's nowhere else for me to go. And my brother was fine with it. I think my brother also thought that we would never hook up. We never spoke about it because I didn't want to make it weird by bringing it up, but he also didn't tell my mom when she asked about the sleeping arrangements. I don't think anyone on the trip really suspected anything. Although I do know Eddie did walk into our room one morning while we were cuddling, and he just stood there watching us for a while till he left, but he never said anything. Anyways, on the last day of our vacation, it was just us in the house and everyone else was out doing something. So we had our last hookup. We said we were going to cut off all the inside jokes that had come about our hookups and anything that had to do with our little secret. Throughout the trip, we would feel guilty for my brother and what we were doing behind his back, but at the same time, there was a rush of adrenaline and curiosity with the situation. I mean, come on, hooking up with my older brother's hot friend, it was straight out of a movie. I couldn't help but explore, and I think Eric felt the same too. It really is like a rom-com. Yet when we got back home, it seemed like we weren't done exploring, LOL.
I'm still on London time. Does that count?
Oh, that counts.
Oh, good.
The second night back home, we ended up hooking up on my couch, and then we hooked up again and again and again. We've been sneaky with it, but also very risky. But that's the fun part of it, and he gets off on the sneakiness. Once, we almost got caught by my dad, but no one is suspicious because it's Eric, my brother's best friend who's been around for ages. It's been about 3 months of us sneaking around. We have gotten to a point where I've snuck over to him in the middle of the night and I let him know when I'm home alone, or we just hook up in my living room. For context, Eric is always over and stays very late whether or not my brother is there, so it's very easy for us. He's like part of the fam, it feels, you know? When you're so close with a friend that you're like part of the family. Anyways, I've reached a point where I'm kind of over the rush of the plot. I know we're not going to date. He's made that clear because he wants a baddie, and I'm just not a baddie yet, you know? Like, I know I'm bad, but I haven't reached my peak. But also for the obvious reason of being his best friend's little sister. So I've kind of made it a mission to work my way to be a baddie this summer so he can have a baddie that he can't touch, LOL. Oh my god. His old sneaky link also hit him up again, so I just don't even feel like messing around anymore because he starts messing with her again. Anyways, I want to be the one to end it with him because I don't want him to feel that power. I don't know how to explain it. He said I've been the best he's been with, which is why it's been hard for him to stop. But I feel like he feels like the prize, which I don't like for real. Anyways, I had my fun. Who knows when we will end this fun? Probably soon. I just felt like saying something here since I can't really tell many people. Am I a bitch for what I did to my brother? And should I stop hooking up with Eric? Girl, what? Don't ask us. I am just here for the plot, okay? It's like, I forgot that this was a real story. Well, I don't think what you did to your brother is great. If he's gonna be upset, I feel like most brothers would be upset by that, right?
My best friend and my sister, I cannot believe this.
If my brother was hooking up with my best friend and hiding it, I would have feelings about both of them for hiding that from me. And should you stop hooking up with Eric? If it's not going anywhere, like, I don't know, girl, that's up to you. My best friend is obsessed with my boyfriend. I, 27 female, have been dating my current partner, 27 male, for just shy of 6 months. We used to hang out with my best friend, 24 female, and her partner, 23 male. My partner and her got along. She would sometimes make comments towards him in terms of his body, saying how good he looks, how nice his V-line is, how we are such a good couple, etc. Girl, what you looking at my man's V-line for? We all planned to meet my partner after his shift at work one day, which involved us getting the train down to meet him. We arrived at the station knowing he was still working, so we went to chill in the pub until he was ready. My phone was dead, so she called him and asked how long he was going to be. She then hangs up on him and is saying he is verbally abusing her down the phone and is going to be 2 hours. They start arguing over text, and he ultimately tells her to F off and put me on the phone. How does that go bad? She refuses. She makes the decision to book all our train tickets back, and we leave. I got back to charge my phone and had multiple messages from him. I had gone to meet him as he is autistic and having a little meltdown. Now, this is where things get interesting. She is holding him, telling her to F off against him, calling him abusive and a narcissist. He thought the initial argument was stupid and blown out of proportion from a miscommunication. She swears he said 2 hours on the phone, and he says he told her 10 to 15 minutes. That's what this argument is about? They argue over text. She then calls me saying stuff like, I hope you're happy with him. Look at the way he's treating me. He will eventually do this to you, and you will regret this. I won't forget this. You're a terrible friend. They agree to disagree, and time passes. She apologized to me a few days later, saying that she didn't mean to throw our friendship in my face, and she just had a crush on my man. This is not a friend. I move on from it, and they don't hang out unless it is a group setting, and he just ignores her and the comments she makes towards him. He was willing up until this point to have a conversation with her about everything, but she has stated numerous times she just wants a simple I'm sorry from him and to not speak of it. He doesn't want to just brush it under the rug and wants her to take accountability for her own actions. Numerous name calling from her starts to get involved, as in he's a little betch boy, accusing him of abusing me because he's a trained fighter, demands that he should apologize to her and that she has done nothing wrong. Every time I would see her, she would bring him up demanding an apology after me telling her he does not want to rekindle things due to her behavior and that sometimes in life you will just simply not get along with people. A month has passed at this point, and she sends me TikToks and reels of quotes about narcissism with his name attached, saying stuff like, yeah, partner's name, along with comments about him again. I initially ignore it, trying to keep the peace, until I send her a message back saying, please stop sending me this stuff, it's making me uncomfortable. During this month, I had withdrawn from seeing her. Her behavior was obsessed, to a point that she was bringing up my partner to her mutual friends. I started to see her less frequently due to her bullying behavior. She is still adamant she has done nothing wrong and is again demanding an apology. She then takes it upon herself to send my partner a reel about narcissistic behavior. He does not hold back. He simply states he does not like her due to her behavior over the past month and the continuous comments towards him. She does not take this well and starts throwing the leave me alone, I've done nothing wrong troop at him, which results in her blocking him after attacking him in his DMs. She does not come to me about this or even tell her partner about this argument. I had a phone call from him that I had missed. I call back, I ask if they are doing okay, and then they ask when we are due to hang out again. I simply state things are a little tense due to their argument yesterday, and it's most likely for the best that they don't hang out. Conversation ends. I then receive the following. I love reading text messages. Please don't bombard her partner's name, especially at work. He simply wants to stay out of this and keep a peaceful mind, as do I. My Instagram message to my partner was initially simply a teaching moment and not malicious. I just felt the initial ice needed to be broken, and if he was too cowardly to do it, then I would. I still feel I was pretty calm considering how he has treated me, how you've handled it, and how I'm feeling, especially since he yet again needed to bring up stuff that was not relevant to the conversation at have. I am not mad, simply disappointed in the situation and how it has been handled by you guys. If you would rather spend time with him and cover your eyes to the situation, then that is fine. I won't force you into anything, but kindly leave me alone if that's the case, as you are a very bad friend if that is the case. This is getting bad, you guys. To which I responded, I didn't bombard suit. I had missed a call from him. her partner. I simply asked if he was okay, and he asked when we were all hanging out. I said I'm unsure, but to let me know as I'm busy. Partner then brought up your argument you had yesterday, so I stepped in and just said, let's not get into it and we can just plan a day out when we're not busy. As in me, her, and her man. So don't come at me when 1, you weren't there for the conversation, and 2, I interrupted and halted the conversation. You started the argument, you went out of your way to belittle your partner, then you are now trying to say you're on a peaceful route when you instigated it. He was well within his right to defend himself when it was not him who started the argument. You knew exactly what you were doing, sending that reel and winding him up. You didn't approach that in a way that broke the ice. It was malicious and very poor on your part. You keep calling me a bad friend and other names when you legit crashed out on me 2 weeks ago and threw our friendship into my face. You did the exact thing you ridiculed others for, but don't seem to understand that I am still majorly disappointed and upset with you. This is your argument with my partner, not mine. I don't know how many times I need to tell you I do not want to be involved. I don't want the conversations about my partner every time I see you or the comments. You keep throwing my friendship into my face and I'm done with it. I had then received a 10-minute voice note of verbal abuse calling my partner a narcissist and stating that I am being manipulated by him and abused. She proceeded to call me a coward, spineless, lonely, and other names, and then blocked me. I have known this woman for a number of years and I am quite upset about the situation. I feel like if I reach out, I am enabling her behavior and she sees no repercussions. That she can just essentially verbally abuse me when she doesn't get her own way. I am asking for not only people's opinion on the matter, but to truly ask if I am the a-hole here. I don't know. This is just too much, to be honest. I think that first argument about time, why did that even get blown into what it is? Strange. 2, she said she had a crush on your man. That needs to be talked about more. And then all these other claims about your relationship and stuff. Is that like someone, I think you need to ask yourself if that's just someone you want to be friends with. You know, both of you from your own perspective and what you believe is right. Is this friendship working? Is it healthy? Do we want to work on it? If anything, maybe time away is best for both of you and the partners. You guys also have to be giving advice in the comments, okay? Because I am not a person to be giving advice to anybody, truthfully. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and maybe you just don't hook up with your brother's best friend. That's all I got.